On your channel? No. Yeah, no, it's on our channel. Okay. Oh my goodness, why is it doing that? Okay, yeah, we can see you. There we go.
So we're live?
We are live.
Haha, nice.
Oh. So, oh man, this thing's like right in my face. Welcome everyone again to episode 2 of the aptly named Haph-Ast podcast. Joaquin, what are we talking about today?
Well, right off the bat, big news today.
Big news.
The Avengers Endgame tickets went on sale.
Avengers Sevenfold.
Avengers Sevenfold. To hell with that.
This might make noise.
White guys with grills.
I know a lot of people in high school really like that band. I never really cared for them. Like, I liked one song, and after that, I was like, eh.
I listened to one of their songs yesterday, and it was. But yeah, man, Avengers. Endgame.
Yeah.
Tickets went on sale. I bought mine right away.
Did they just go on sale today?
They went on sale early this morning. I
Okay.
woke up at about, I think, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Maybe a little after that, and apparently they were already on sale for a couple hours. So,
Were they gone? But no, you got
no,
one.
I managed to get some real quick, but
Okay.
apparently people were comparing it to waiting for Beyonce tickets.
I guess
They certain apps or certain sites that were hosting the tickets, the pre-sales.
Yeah.
They actually had a wait time from anywhere from 25 to almost an hour long.
To like finish the transaction.
Because nowadays, you know how everyone like picks your seat.
Oh.
Well, apparently
yeah.
a lot of people have to like wait in that little line, like online.
Yeah, I've had to do that for stuff.
To get your seat, and so you gotta wait and make sure your seat can be available for purchase. So I don't know if some people maybe like got a seat and a transaction went through and you didn't get a seat or something along the lines like that. But I ended up just going to like a general admission theater and just online and just bought the ticket.
Now, is this for like day of?
Thursday night? Yeah.
Okay.
I get out of work at like 4:30, so the first showing was about like 6 o'clock.
Chat so we can see what people are saying.
Sure.
In case there's anyone in there.
Hello.
Because last time we got up to like 5 people watching, which
5.
was insane because nobody knew what we were doing, and nobody was talking at all. So that happened. But yeah, so Endgame. Is that this Thursday it comes out?
No.
Oh, it's like
that's
that
April.
Doesn't seem like
April 26th is the actual release
April
date,
26th,
and then
okay.
so the 25th is the Thursday night screening.
yeah. So we're not that far off, but for those that have seen, what's that one? Not the Endgame, but the one
Infinity
before.
War?
Infinity War. Y'all can finally see what's gonna happen in the movie version. For those of us that read the comic, the Infinity Gauntlet, we kind of know what happens.
More or less
in the comic version.
Oh well, yeah.
So that's why I wasn't really too impressed with all the stuff that happened in Infinity War, because I was like, I already knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot with comic book movies, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of them. Some are fun to see like the differences and just the way they did it.
Yeah.
Like one I always go to is Watchmen, and how the incident that basically brings all the countries together is completely different in both the movie and the book. But I think I prefer the movie's version rather than
wasn't the movie or wasn't the book, graphic novel, whatever you want to call it, wasn't it a creature or something like that?
Okay, so yeah.
I've honestly never read the
So this
comic.
is like massive spoilers, but it doesn't matter because Watchmen's old. Both the graphic novel and the movie at this point. So in the graphic novel, Ozymandias is like the superhero guy. Like he doesn't really have any powers. He's just really fast, really smart. He's just like the perfect human, and he happens to look like an Aryan, so he looks like very Nazi. White,
like a metahuman,
blonde, blue eye. He's almost like a metahuman, but like it doesn't really say like he's greater than any human, like in any way. He's just faster. He's just smarter. He's just slightly better than everybody.
So he's Keanu Reeves.
So he's John Wick.
He's just good.
Yeah. So in the graphic novel, what he does is he collects a whole bunch of scientists and a whole bunch of like artists and people, and he basically has them design a creature that he will have invade Chicago, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what happens is at the climax, this alien basically just appears and wipes out the entire city. So it's just all these millions of people just die, and there's this corpse of this giant alien mess, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, we're getting invaded. Like, what's gonna happen? And everybody's like, all right, we gotta team up against whatever this threat is. But in the movie version,
Don't they put the blame on?
They put the blame on on Dr. Manhattan, because Ozymandias in the movie version basically copies his energy signature to a bunch of bombs that detonate all over the world. So it's not just located in Chicago or whatever U.S. city it is. It might be New York, but it's basically spread all over the world. So everybody's like, oh, he's coming after everybody. So I find that more plausible. They kind of join together.
They made him a martyr essentially, like in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think I enjoyed that one more because there was like more devastation, and it did affect pretty much all the major countries at that time, because it was Civil War. So it was obviously like the U.S. You had Russia, I think China, Berlin, and some other places. Like it just hit everybody essentially. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Plus, when I saw the movie, I had not read the graphic novel, so I think that might have something to do with it. But I found both. I found them both really, really good, just in different ways. So, Godzilla.
Oh yeah, apparently a new teaser just dropped, and for those that don't care for, I guess I don't even know if it's considered a spoiler if they release it in a trailer. That's something we could talk about eventually too. Is trailers spoiling things nowadays? But so word is there's 17 monsters in this movie,
as there should be.
I would certainly hope so. Like, yeah, I mean, I want the big bads, squaring up with each other. But
yeah, like the only reason we really go to watch Godzilla movies is to watch Godzilla fight other monsters.
Yeah, but I mean, if we get some like jobbers to like take an L against Godzilla or these other creatures just to show how like badass they are, then I'm all for it, man. But
and be like, he's so powerful, he destroyed this many cities, and then he just gets
so like I was kind of doing a count. So obviously there's 1 Godzilla, 2 Ghidorah, 3 Rodan, 4 Mothra, and I was like, so who's the 5th? And
Anguirus?
Well, I don't know if that's confirmed, but obviously, Kong is one that they should know of.
Yeah, huh?
So I would say that's 5. And more than likely, he's just going to be like the teaser.
Yeah.
Because they're getting their one-on-one.
So what monsters would you want to see if we got to pick the ones that haven't been spoiled in the trailer?
Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar?
No way.
Jet Jaguar?
Man. Yeah. Jet Jaeger.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
Them making some giant suit or something, or some giant mech to.
Which would bring in like Mecha Godzilla. So there's like a whole nother thing. They've done that like multiple times though.
We're gonna get that in like 2046.
I can watch any of them again.
Was it the big one, the second one, I believe that I'm trying to bring up his name right now because I'm terrible with that.
That monster?
The monster names?
You talking the 3-headed one?
No, Ghidorah. I know of him.
Okay.
But the one I was gonna bring up was, if you remember the trailer, there's one that comes out of an oil field, and it looks like it's like almost like sharp like legs coming out of the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I would assume it was like the Mutos from the first one.
Oh, I forgot about those.
But those were, I think their feet were a little too sharp, or not sharp, but smooth. So
yeah, they looked industrial.
I was thinking of that, and like I said, I didn't remember the name, so I had to like
Google it.
Google, tell me what is it? Godzilla spider monster, and
Yeah.
What's his name? Kumanga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that he popped up.
The spider one.
Yeah, so
That reminds me of the lobster one too.
the lobster one.
There's
Which
a
one was
lobster
that
one. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember the lobster one. There's a
Um,
lot of animal ones.
Who is who's the one with the spike? He like walks on all fours, I think. He's got a little
walks
spike
all
on his head.
fours. Ooh. I don't remember.
There's
I
like
honestly don't
there's like
remember.
one creature in I think Pacific Rim that kind of like reminded me of him, but
Oh yeah. I really did like the look of the monsters, the kaijus in Pacific Rim. I'd want to see them just like fight Godzilla and be like its own movie. But like it wouldn't be a very
just
good movie.
those separate monsters against.
It'd just be like a tournament essentially. Just see them fight. Just pick like a city and throw them in. It'll be like watching a Super Smash game.
Toho versus like what is it? Toho's monsters versus Legendary / Warner Brothers monsters
That'd be a good game.
in Mortal Kombat.
That'd be cool. But yeah, no. So Godzilla. When does Godzilla drop?
I want to say May.
May. Okay,
It's probably like a whole. It's probably a whole month after Endgame.
Okay. Because so far this year, that's like the only one I really
That's the
want to
like.
watch.
I mean, I see like trailers for Endgame, and I'm excited to watch it. I want to see how it concludes and all, but I see a trailer for Godzilla, and man, do I get so hyped.
Yeah, like I was hyped for the last one, and it was just fun watching them in theaters, almost like when we were talking about Star Wars again. Like it was just fun to go and watch it, but I didn't like that first Godzilla as much. And then Toho's like tickets, and Zach, I was supposed to go with Zach, and he dropped out like the last minute, and so I was calling people up trying to see who wanted to go watch a movie. So I was just calling a whole bunch of random people. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm at work. Never mind.
I think you had called me about that. 'Cause
I may have.
I'm pretty sure I was at work when that happened, or I was like getting ready for work.
I ended up finding someone. He was like, "Yeah, I'll go watch it." I don't think he'd ever seen a Godzilla movie before. So he was like, "That was a trip." But I really like that Godzilla. Like they did some really weird stuff with him.
He looks gnarly. I don't even recall what. I remember my friend mentioning it to me multiple times.
Yeah,
and explaining like how he became and whatnot. And
it
I thought it was
looks
pretty
so
cool.
dumb at first. Like
Yeah.
the big eyes, and it's like, what is this?
He looks like he's on crack or something.
Yeah, and then by the end, he looks like, oh, he's gonna kill everybody. Like he looks really cool, and typically, like he'll have that like green skin hue, and he's got like the silver back. Stuff.
He's red, isn't he?
He's like black and red, and his teeth look insane. Like he looks like one of those fish from like really down deep, like the anglerfish.
Yeah.
Like he just like his face is all jagged, but he looks evil. Which is cool because like he does like really mess everything up all over again.
Did you ever watch that? I believe it. I don't even know if it's. I guess an anime, but the one on Netflix.
Oh, the Godzilla one.
Yeah,
I saw some of the first episode.
How was that, or just to get you into it? Or?
It was like nothing like Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
It was like so it was like in the future. I don't know how many years in the future, but like humans went away. 20,000. So
oh
yeah.
man.
So humans go away and then they come back and it's like the entire planet's infested with Godzillas.
He's the biggest Godzilla he could shoot into space.
Yeah,
What?
The Godzilla that they come back to, they end up killing one and it's like that's not the real Godzilla. This is the real Godzilla, and it's just like a giant mountain just and he just like wakes up and just destroys everything. And he shoots into space. So, it was
I kind of want to watch that.
crazy. But that was like a whole nother thing. I was just like, I don't know if I really consider that Godzilla stuff. It was interesting, but I did like Shin-Godzilla, and I want to see a sequel to Shin-Godzilla because the last like 5 seconds of that movie, I didn't know what to think.
Are they did they say that? Did Toho say that they're gonna keep going with that Godzilla? Or?
From what I remember, no. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if it's because the director or they just don't want to make anymore, or I don't know what's going on, or they just want to wait till the Americans make one so they can show us up. But like, it seems like they go back to it every now and then. So I'm hoping like in a few years they'll go back to doing something with Shin-Godzilla, because it's like they set up the movie for a nice sequel, a sequel I really want to see. But if I have to wait like 10 years for it, I'm just gonna be sad. So by the time it finally does come out, I'll be like, oh, barely.
Well, they did that last time, didn't they? With the lizard Godzilla, the Toby or Roland Emmerich one.
Yeah, but that wasn't Toho.
No, but didn't they do something afterwards? Because that was that Godzilla, and then they went and
wasn't Godzilla 2000 after that?
Didn't they do Godzilla 2000?
Oh,
or they did something else after it. They were like, where they basically killed off the other Godzilla from that movie.
Oh no, I think that's Destroy All Monsters.
Or
one of those movies where it was basically like this one coming out where they just got all the monsters together and were like, let's just have them fight. And I forget the story on that one, but I think they all like some aliens just like put chips in their brains so they can control them. And so it's like they were all fighting and they were trying to control Godzilla or something. I don't remember everything. I watched that one so many times I don't remember because I just wanted to see them fight. we used to rent a lot of Godzilla movies way back. Cool. But yeah, I'm just excited for this new one. I want to see it again.
Yeah, it looks fun, man.
Yeah,
just mayhem. That's all I want to see.
I'm not expecting a great film out of it. I just want to go watch it.
Yeah, was it 2014 the last one? I think I just really, really wanted to see more Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I was sad on that.
The trailers like hyped him up like he was the lead, and then we got the guy from Kick-Ass.
And he did like a whatever job. I don't think they wrote that great of a script for his part because they didn't care. Like I remember he was like a bomb diffuser guy, I think. And he did like one thing.
I don't even remember.
It was weird.
Like he's so like him and with Scarlet Witch. I think
was that her?
Yeah, he played the wife.
I don't even remember because
that's how I remember.
Bryan Cranston died. I was literally watching the movie and I was like, I forgot who I was watching it with. I turned to them. I was like, I don't even care anymore. After that, I was just like, just fight something. Like fight the Mutos, is that what they're called?
The Mutos, yeah. They
and then they didn't even show like most of that.
I think it's like the last like maybe 15 minutes of it where they actually do have a fight, and it is worth it. In the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like they brought him back just so he can like drop some like just so he could drop some cool lines. Like.
Yeah. Let them all fight.
Do you think that have you obviously, but Charles Dance, do you think his character is probably going to end up being Tom Hiddleston's character from Kong?
I don't know because I don't remember Kong.
Just like the guy who played Loki.
Yeah. No, I know.
Okay, yeah, but because Charles Dance's character in the IMDb page, he doesn't have a name.
Oh.
And I feel like it's gonna like end up being some big like reveal, like, hey, I bought Monsters too.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
and he's
something like that
right now because
I feel like something like that always happens in these types of movies. So I can see it happening, but I really don't know.
It's like every studio. I mean, they're just starting their own like cinematic universe.
Yeah, like the way I usually think about it is like it's a show. It's just like season 1,
basically.
That's mostly how I see a lot of these now. Like especially like the Marvel ones.
Yeah,
the DC's definitely on season 1. Marvel's like on season 2 or 3 now.
I think DC's more like a what is it, like a Black Mirror where they just don't make sense altogether.
I've been disappointed by a lot of those too because they come out with really, really good animated movies.
Oh yeah, dude.
But they've been like really dropping the ball with the other
I bought
ones.
they had like a sale at Best Buy a couple weeks back, and they had all of their animated films on Blu-ray for like $10 individually. So I bought what is it? City of Demons. I think that one's the Constantine one.
Okay.
Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is, I think, kind of crazy that they're like actually pretty cool that they did that as an entire like feature.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting too is a lot of the animated ones have a lot more death in them.
It's death, violence, and apparently, and I haven't watched it yet, but apparently there's nudity in Hell to Pay.
Really?
I haven't seen it, but supposedly there's full frontal, and I was just like, what?
That's weird, but I'm not really surprised because those movies just seem to be going to that like rated R end.
Yeah, they're
things, which is cool to see that in a movie because there's a lot of stuff that you can do in animation that would be very expensive in like live action movies.
Yeah.
So they do some crazy stuff. It obviously doesn't look nearly as good.
No.
But I think when you're watching it, you're kind of already in the sense of like, none of this is going to look real. I just want to see something cool.
Yeah.
So that I do enjoy about those. So have you seen all the ones that you bought? Or you
No. The only ones I watched was, I think I only just watched one. Oh, no. Okay. I watched, that's another one I bought, Gotham by Gaslight.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know the plot of that one, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's it's, I don't know if the way it plays out in the comic, but I think in the comic a bunch of them are sent kind of back in time. But I believe this one is just flat out like an alternate universe.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
Yeah, but it's an alternate universe where Batman is like in London. And he's getting set up for the Jack the Ripper murders.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool.
I think I did. I think Zach may have told me about this. Actually,
yeah.
Because this, and you know what? We'll get to this in another episode. Me and Zach and another friend of mine were throwing around a story idea about DC characters pre-World War I.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
It was basically leading up to that. And I'll get to it in a whole different stream because that way we can go into it. But we called it World War Zero because it was essentially a world war that nobody knew about. And everything's like contained in very small pockets around the world. But it gets pretty crazy. And the way we did it with all the characters, like they were from all over the place.
Yeah. But
they had some really cool backstories, which were real life incarnations of their superhero like origins. Like we kind of adapted it to the real world, but came up with plausible reasons as to why they're like that.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty interesting, but we'll get to that some other time.
Oh, that seems pretty cool.
What else were we going to talk about? It was Godzilla, Thanos. So yeah, we talked about Endgame.
There's a what do you call it right now too? I guess the directors spoke with a couple of people about. There's like the memes going around about Ant-Man crawling up Thanos' anus and growing back to normal size and essentially killing Thanos.
Yeah.
But I guess they like debunked it and said like, "Hey, that's not gonna happen in our movie."
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of bummed about, but no, I'm just kidding. Not really, but
somebody's gonna animate it just to be like.
It's been like poorly animated online,
yeah.
and
it's like one of those how it should have ended.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if they've done one. I haven't seen any of those videos in a long time.
I haven't seen them in like ever either. So,
what do you think's gonna happen?
What do I think's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think we had the conversation about it where I didn't really understand like Carol's powers, Captain Marvel. And I feel like she's supposed to be this big bad, badass that's like Superman level powers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just don't like, you can't just bring her in and be like I'm the catalyst that's gonna, be the one to stop it or stop him or whatever. But there's a shot in that new teaser, and if you remember the first Avengers when it's Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man.
Yeah.
And they all like meet up with each other for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a shot, I think, at the end of Ultron where it's the three of them together. And then in this one, it shows it's just their feet, but it's Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor walking up to Thanos in the background.
Mm.
And you just see him like in between, like there's like the silhouettes of them. And I'm like, yeah, that's I want to see some ass whooping, but
yeah, they're just gonna go up to him and be like, "We surrender."
they quit. It's just like
I honestly remember reading a comic like that. They were versus Molecule Man, I think. And they captured Nick Fury. They captured like a whole bunch of other dudes, and like he was basically ripping the universe apart. And
Molecule Man or
Molecule Man, I think that's what his name was.
Say that 5 times.
And
fast.
then the next in line, who like once Nick Fury was basically taken out of commission, she just goes up to him and says, "We surrender. Like we honestly have no way to defeat you, so we just gonna leave you alone." And I was like, that makes sense, but that was really boring.
That's like was it? Doesn't Thanos do something or not? I want to say Thanos does something like that, but isn't there like some like cheap ending where I wouldn't say ending, but
yeah,
Thanos wins and he's just so bored or like
there's
that he like resets the universe or something.
Yeah,
like,
there's another one. I forget what it's called, but it gets a little more like philosophical and stuff. But that one was pretty boring too. I do like how it happened in the regular Infinity Gauntlet one or Infinity War, whatever the heck it's called, where he basically makes a miscalculation and doesn't realize what he's done by making himself like some giant spectral version of himself. Like he's like God Thanos, but his body is still on the throne and it still has the gauntlet. And I think it's Nebula that basically just goes up to him while he's not paying attention. Like he's doing all this mad God stuff. And she takes the gauntlet away. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's funny!" But I was like,
doesn't
"That
she
makes
go like?
sense.
Doesn't she go mad or something like that?"
Yeah,
like,
and I was
because
like,
of it?
"That's." I wouldn't have seen that coming, and it's like he didn't see it coming. I just thought it was really interesting the way they did that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Captain Marvel in the movies is supposed to be like Adam Warlock was in the comic, where he basically goes throughout the universe and it's like getting everybody to team up and like, we got to stop Thanos.
She says that she's gonna go like fix something at the end of that movie, which is I don't know if I should get into spoilers with that, but it's something regarding the Skrulls. But she gets into something, or she says she's gonna go fix something with that, and she's basically across the universe. But I can totally see her like, surprise, I had something set up, or
Yeah, that's what I feel like something's gonna happen, or she's gonna like have some power that is gonna be revealed, like when everything goes down. And I'm like,
that's the thing too. What is it? They teased Adam Warlock at the end of Guardians 2, and
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like one of the multiple. I wouldn't say endings, but like the multiple post-credit scenes that it had. They show Adam Warlock's like egg basicly, or his like.
Oh,
and,
I actually don't remember that. Then I don't think I stayed for the end credits.
Yeah.
I was like sick, so I was like, once the movie was done, I'm like, I'm out. I need to go sleep.
Yeah, they teased him, and like you would assume that they're gonna set something up with Adam Warlock, and then James Gunn got fired, and it was like, well, what's gonna happen? And he's back now, so I can only assume that maybe they are gonna do something with Adam Warlock.
Yeah, because I mean, from a comic perspective, it's not difficult to see how they won't do it without him. It's just that's the one I know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like everyone knows basically by the comics.
Yeah,
Or, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people know what's gonna happen based off the comics. Yeah. But it is cool when you see them, you know, diverge from that and change things up with that. So,
yeah, this is one thing I usually have to tell people when they're like, "There's nothing like the comic." It's like, dude, they're not making the comic a movie. It's almost like a movie based on the Bible. Like, you can't do it exactly like that because it'd be very, very. You'd get like no personality out of that dialogue.
Yeah,
it's like you have to like make it your own.
One of the other shows right now on TV that gets a lot of slack for like, I guess, breaking away from the comics and sometimes sticking too close to the comics is The Walking Dead.
Yeah, okay.
There was a lot like with not this season, but I believe the one before, and that was I think where the big drop off of fans happened. I mean, there was probably zombie fatigue going on prior to that, but
yeah, it dropped off way before that.
Yeah, but I think we brought this up last week. We were talking about like the whole Negan storyline. I don't know if that was us or me and you or what. But
no, I don't think it was me.
But I was on another podcast. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah. So Negan's whole character, you know, he's this foul mouth, you know, psychopath, you know, that's lovable at the same time, but they I feel like his character wasn't as true as he could have been to the comics, and I think unfortunately it's just the fact that it was on AMC and you couldn't go as far with that. But
were you disappointed in that version, or
I was excited initially because of the actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan of Watchmen, of Watchmen fame, the comedian, and plenty of other shows, and movies. But I was really excited, and then I wasn't that impressed, and then by the halfway point, I kind of just like tuned out.
Yeah, okay.
And I did manage to jump back in. One of my coworkers was like, "Nah, dude, like it's good. Just keep pushing, keep watching." And so I ended up managing to, I think it was all on like the AMC app or something like that. But I managed to catch up with the rest of the season. I was like, all right, I'm game. I'm ready for season. I think they just finished 9. And
are they on their last one yet?
Huh?
Are they on their last one?
No, I could see them going for a while. They're kind of catching up to the comics though.
Is the comics still going?
The comics have been going since I think 2000.
Every time I think of that one, I think of a few like Dread and like some other ones. It's just like, oh my goodness, how many do you guys have?
Yeah, they've been going since I think 2006 or maybe 7. Okay. But yeah, they kind of rebooted their entire show midway through season 9, and it did like a whole time jump of I believe 6 or 7 years. So everything that was going on at the end of the halfway point of season 9 just jumped a whole, you know, like I said, 6-7 years, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Characters are grown up. People are with, you know, certain characters or in relationships and whatnot. And
because I dropped off. I don't know how long ago, because I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
I may have to go back and watch things, but I don't know if
some of it's kind of tough to watch, and it's only because like the format does get repetitive.
Yeah. And I think that's
right now what they're doing is I like what they're doing, and it doesn't feel so, I guess it feels fresh in the way they like rebooted the show.
Yeah.
It does feel like I'm watching something new with like plenty of new characters.
Yeah. Cuz I think I enjoy more of the personal interactions like within the group and then with other people they find rather than all the zombie stuff. The zombie stuff just seems like to get in the way of everything.
That, well, I mean, that's kind of the gist of the show the comic was. There was even a line in there and it was like they said the title in the whatever it is. One of the characters is like, no, you don't understand. We are the Walking Dead, and it's the people are the ones that are just everyone's on that basically on borrowed time.
Yeah, okay.
And everyone is they're dying, but it's a slow death, and it's them dealing with these hardships, and the zombies get in the way, but ultimately the human characters are always like the bigger bads of the show. I was gonna go off about something with that too, but it just totally slipped my mind.
No, it's all good because I did enjoy the first few seasons, but I think it does get repetitive, which is why I think a lot of shows kind of just naturally end because they run out of that newness. And I don't think, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think the writers really know how to get over that hump. And maybe for Walking Dead they did, and maybe like you said, that half season reboot probably worked.
I think it did because it was their spoiler alert for what's going on right now in season 9 of The Walking Dead, but Rick Grimes was actually written out of the show. Essentially, the lead of the show was written out, and I assumed he was done overall with The Walking Dead. No, apparently he's teamed up with AMC, and he's gonna do, I believe, 3 AMC films in the Walking Dead universe.
The Rick Grimes story.
So it's whatever's happened from the point he left the show to that 6-7 year time gap. But it's whatever happened to him on his own separate adventure. Which
that's cool.
I would assume the show's not gonna die anytime soon because of that.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, things have happened and just shows do end.
I remember at a certain point, I knew a group of people, and they were just religiously watching that show, and I was like, okay, I was done with it at that point.
No, I was one of them, and then like I said, maybe season 7 was when I was just kind of about the show. Yeah, and then I got excited with Trevor Dean Morgan again. Yeah, but then that high just kind of went away really, really quick. Yeah, but well, speaking of shows ending, Supernatural, they're ending on season 15.
They have season 15.
I think it's their next.
Goodness,
I think it's their next one coming.
I didn't even know they were still going. I think I enjoyed the first season of that show, and then after that, I was like,
to me, it was like Death, Taxes, and Supernatural. I just assumed that was gonna go on as long as Doctor Who or something like that.
Oh, don't even remind me of that, man.
They came up with the best idea we get a new doctor every so often, and
they shot themselves in the foot a few years ago because they're like, there can only be 12, and they're like, oh, we gotta do something about that. But yeah, they did do something cool with that, and I do like how the main character kind of rotates, which is nice. But
I've never been big on Doctor Who. My whole philosophy about it was, why watch Doctor Who when we have Bill and Ted?
You're not wrong.
I mean,
anyways, I enjoyed that show for what it was, which was basically just entertainment for the sake of entertainment.
There's some cool things I've seen. My friends have shown me some stuff. And,
it felt like a good way of introducing people to a popular version of science fiction. And getting that out there. And I do like a lot of the stuff that they did, but I just think it kind of went off the rails these last few years, and I just don't enjoy it. Same thing. What was the other one we just talked about right now? Supernatural. I was just I like the idea. I don't think I liked those characters in those situations as much. I wanted it way grittier.
I wish it still had that format of, and I understand you got to break from it and there's not enough ideas for it, but the monster of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, and I do enjoy that because that was very Godzilla.
Do
too.
you remember the first episode where they're hunting?
The very, very first one?
Yeah, they're literally they're hunting the Llorona.
That was the first episode?
That was she was the lady in white that like drowned her kids or killed her kids.
I honestly don't
and
remember.
she was like haunting a lake or a river or a bridge.
Haunting the Mexicans.
But it was, I don't know, dude. It was just like they called her the lady in white, but I was like, I know what you're doing. I know what this is.
I've heard of her.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, like I do enjoy that format because I do enjoy like cop shows, crime shows because it's like, oh, who's the new criminal now?
It's like what is it? Dude, I'll be damned if that ever ends. Law and Order. if cancel regular Law and Order, cancel Criminal Intent, but just give me SVU all day, dude.
Law and Order Criminal or Law and Order 2099.
Or there's
no,
it's just Edward James Olmos and and Harrison Ford,
Betty White.
Oh, dude.
Oh goodness, that would be interesting. And the weird thing about those is like a lot of the stuff is very repetitive. Like you do see a lot of the same stuff, but it's just always so fun to watch.
It is, dude. Was it like I don't even know if like CSI is still going as well.
Oh, I don't think they are, but I don't think they're as good as the first ones.
Yeah, but was it Tarantino directed an episode of CSI?
Really?
Yeah, it was like we've solved the crime, and it was, how he has like the way he structures a story where it's just all out of place and you got to kind of like figure out what's going on. Well, I believe he did something like that, and it kind of like went Memento status where whatever was going on at the beginning or at the end, whatever it was at the beginning was like this big key, and it's like a twist on the end, and it's like
I mean, that's cool, and it's one way to shake it up, but I do like that overall format of like, we got a crime, we got a body, what do we do from here? Because sometimes they do take it in one direction. It's like, oh, we have the weapon, or it's like we know the people, or we know the place.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just always enjoy that stuff. I enjoy mystery movies, mystery shows like that. So it's hard to get tired of those because there's always like, what happened?
It's kind of bringing it up. Something like WWE. Like a wrestling show.
Dude, they were just watching something earlier today, and I was like, what is going on? But I was like, this is strangely too entertaining.
Dude, it's
Oh, it was the Ronda Rousey one where she's all beaten up with the other ladies.
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
they like throw her in the back of the car, and then
cop-
they throw the other one back.
yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on
It's so
here?
insane, dude. It's like
this was a movie. That would've been, like,
they got
perfect.
arrested like 5 times in the past like month or something like that,
that's
and
so
it's like
funny though.
of course they're just like out the next day or the like couple hours. It's all, I mean, obviously it's all fake, but it's
that always felt like a drama. Though.
It is. It's the best way I can compare an episode of wrestling is trying to watch an episode of Game of Thrones, except it's just men in tights. There's a story there, man. Like you don't
Who's got the belt?
It's all
Calling people out.
It's like, what is it?
It's true though.
It's like factions and like who's in control and who has power and who's
siding with who.
Yeah, who's siding with who? Who's the fan favorite?
Yeah.
Do you like what's his name? Peter Dinklage's character compared to like he's like Rey Mysterio in my opinion, man. He's just like the little underdog.
Yeah.
Who's,
Was it 519, 619?
619?
619,
Yeah. 559.
559. That's the
There is a wrestler who
Fresno Mysterio.
who hails from the 559.
Which one?
His name's Brian Cage. Just like super yoked out, like buff dude. Who
Nice.
there's a show on Netflix called Lucha Underground, and he comes out in there. He's just.
Didn't we watch that one a few times?
I think we did.
Okay,
yeah,
I
it was
think
just
so. That one
so
was
over the top. But.
That one was over the top, and I was like, "This is hilarious" because there was that
But-
like vampire dude.
Yeah, they
I was like, "This is
see. That's what I
amazing."
liked about that show was like it's shot like a show.
It was like a novela.
Yeah, it's like basically a Mexican soap opera. They shoot it like that, like what happens backstage doesn't exactly reflect what's going on in the ring.
No.
And it's all story.
But
like,
it's amazing. I remember like one character was like posing as this other like unknown one. And I forgot what was going on, but it was like there was this big reveal, and I had never seen any other episodes other than the ones we watched, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like I was so invested in that reveal, and I didn't even know those characters. I just knew it was something crazy going on, and I was like, this guy's a vampire.
They have well, right now it's Wrestlemania season, and Wrestlemania is actually this coming Sunday. They their storylines just get so they're all over the place right now.
Yeah.
And you won't get a consistent storyline for maybe a couple months, probably, with any of them. Like the whole thing with you mentioned with Ronda Rousey and the cop car and all that. There was the redhead in there, Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
and she's like, she's kind of being billed as like a woman Stone Cold right now.
Oh, okay.
She calls herself the Man, like, and yeah, so she's like posing with like busted bloody noses and just running around in crutches with like a cane or like not a cane, but was it like a leg brace, totally similar to like Stone Cold's look at the time, and she's out here
the Cobra
like,
shirt,
dude,
and the beard, dude. Like that's the only way she's gonna do it.
That was it the Stone Cold shirt where his arms are up like this, but they're
and then he needs to come out in the ring with her, and then people need to throw beer in, and then I get it now.
Wrestling is wrestling, man. Yeah, but yeah, man, like just shows like that just go on for they hit like episode 2000 or 3000 or something.
That's like One Piece. It's like,
dude, I can't.
It's like shows on top of shows.
My friends want me to get into that, and I'm just like, that's a commitment.
Did you basically start watching wrestling as a kid, or did you get into it like in high school? Because I know some people did.
I watched it a lot as a kid. I started in the 90s, the Attitude Era, with Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind.
Back when it was WWF.
Yeah, back when there was an F in the name.
I remember. I remember that too, because we would buy the toys too, the little action figures.
Oh yeah.
Those are dope.
Yeah, I still collect some of those dudes, like the full scale ones.
Doesn't Justin have those, or does he? Only have,
he used to.
ones?
Justin collects a lot. If you want to see a toy collection, you got to see that guy's toy collection.
Yeah.
It's badass. But he used to collect them. I think he sold a lot of them, and he kind of just kept like his essentials, like cane.
Essentials.
But yeah, dude, they I forgot where I was going with that. Like when I started watching it, I started basically watching in like the 90s, the Attitude Era as it was called. And I might have jumped off at a certain point in high school, or I think as I started high school.
Yeah.
And only because I was in the marching band.
Oh my goodness.
And I think practice was always on like a Thursday night or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, one of the shows, SmackDown, was on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And so I'd always miss that, or we'd be out of town for like high school, the football games, I believe, too, on Fridays.
Yeah,
so I'd always miss SmackDown.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I remember
so
those
there
days.
there was a lot of wrestling I missed in high school, and then I don't know what exactly really like jumped me back in, but I think it was, I don't know, but
I don't
remember. I don't watch it on a weekly basis as I used to, but I watch it when I can, when I hear something good is going on, especially right now before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I tend to watch maybe at least a couple episodes a month.
Okay.
Just to keep up with what's going to happen at the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
That way when their big fight, happens, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's basically the season finale.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you want to catch up a little bit up to that point.
Kind of like we were talking about movies being like season 1,
yeah.
season 2. It's basically just
no, exactly. Wrestling does have a season
It's
finale.
like that, but it's been going on for so long.
That's...
You can go back to like any moment in its history, and you'll come across a lot of different storylines, kind of just like intersecting. So,
and then
that's one thing too. Is like I'm not sure how much that formula has been shaken up, but I don't know if it needs to be the way they do it.
No.
Because there's always new characters.
Yeah. Honestly, their biggest thing right now that they have is and it's, well deserved, is the women are actually going to headline Wrestlemania this year. Usually the women's match is at the beginning of the show, or it's like a 5-minute, 10-minute segment midway through the show. And they put all the shine on all the, all the men.
Yeah.
Well, this year they're actually Ronda Rousey, Ric Flair's daughter, and that other, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
The three of them are the main event, and they're gonna close out the show, which is pretty cool.
Which I feel like at this point, something like that is possible because they've done so much, especially with like Ronda Rousey's UFC career and all that.
Yeah, like
it's like there's something behind that.
She they already had that big spotlight. They they were doing it on their own without her, but her being there is like that. It's like when they brought back Brock Lesnar after he had his MMA run.
Yeah.
And he came back and he's still the damn champion, dude. I don't think he's ever not been champion since.
Yeah.
He's probably lost it like a couple times, but
dude, I still remember back in the day when I was watching it, the only real female wrestlers I can think of are Chyna, and then like Triple H's girlfriend at the time,
Stephanie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like trying to think of other ones right now. I was like, I couldn't really.
There's Lita, the one with the Hardy Boys. She was there for a while.
Chyna always reminded me of Xena, though.
Yeah,
I was like,
Lucy Lawless.
Why don't they just bring Xena out?
I was gonna say like something, but it's kind of just rated X stuff.
Never mind. We don't want to get.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to bring stuff up like that. But no, it's crazy because like you do think of them, but all you do is you think of them as the ones in the bras and the panties, like the way they were portrayed back in the day.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's cool that you see them now and they're full of like developed characters instead of just eye candy. Speaking of eye candy, I've noticed that jar. Right
so
there.
Last time on stream, I had a ginormous jar of the tepache, and it was still going. It had loads of activity in there. So just real quick recap. This is basically traditional Mexican pineapple wine. And I've been watching like a lot of videos since. And this is homebrewed, by the way. I just made this at home because I can. And normally they would have a bunch of spices in there. So they'd have like cinnamon, cloves, allspice, other random crap in there.
Yeah.
I didn't add any spices because I didn't have any at the time. So I feel like this could be our taste test without it. And then the next time I do it, because I have pineapple at home, next time we bring it in, we'd be like, oh, how does it taste compared to the regular only pineapple?
I'm down with that.
Because do you ever drink kombucha?
We talked about this on the last episode. I've had it before.
Okay.
And I know like more or less what it is, like how it's like living.
Because this tastes very kombucha.
Ooh.
And I don't know if you enjoy that, but because I've brewed so much, like that yeasty taste, I'm fine with. So I'm just like, oh yeah, just knocked like 5 of them back. But hopefully this doesn't blow up, because I did leave it in my fridge.
Boo!
Oh no! Okay, so this should be like slightly carbonated. I didn't bring any.
I can run off and grab
things,
a cup,
by the way.
a red cup, but
yeah, go for it real quick. So yeah, this is tepache. You can make this at home. You don't need to buy any yeast. Just buy yourself some pineapple, some brown sugar, a cinnamon stick, some cloves. Throw that in a jar with some purified water, hopefully. Don't use none of that tap because it's got a bunch of crap in it. And yeah, just let it sit for like 3 days and you're good. You got yourself a low alcoholic probiotic.
I grabbed red
drink.
cups. I didn't know if I should grab.
Oh, nah, it doesn't matter. They can see it through the jar. Now, I have had this before. I had it the other day because I had to transfer it, and I was like, there's extra. Kill it right now. It's not very fizzy, but it's good. It's not as sweet as it was before, but I personally don't prefer the sweetness, so I don't know if you'll enjoy it as much.
This literally tastes, or not tastes, I haven't even tasted it yet. This smells like the stuff when I actually worked a season at a winery.
It smells like wine.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys have had fruit wines before, you guys have probably had some form of juice that was fermented. This wasn't juice. This was just the peel of a pineapple thrown in some water, basically.
Oh, damn.
Like no juice at all. And it's surprisingly juicy and pineapple-y, which trips me out because I didn't even have to boil this.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah. It's better today than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this is one thing that trips me out. Like, it has a lot of the pineapple solids in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's thicker than normal soda or even juice. Like, you know when you get, like, those thick pineapple juice?
Oh, yeah. You
shake
gotta,
it up,
like,
pour
shake
it out?
the heck out of it.
It tastes slightly thicker than that.
Uh-huh.
You get a little bit of carbonation. But it tastes like eating a pineapple cookie in just, like, a liquid form to me.
Ooh.
Because you get that yeasty taste. So it's not like clean pineapple fruity juice that's like nice and tart and refreshing and crisp. It tastes like it almost tastes like you got pineapple juice and just like crumbled up some bread in there and then drunk it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound appealing when you say it like that, but it does have this
It has that taste.
almost a solid taste to it.
A solid yeah. Like it has a certain off taste that you get in like weedy beers, where it's like that really bready taste, but it's like the yeast.
Is it like completely finished, or is it like?
I think it can go like a few more days, probably.
Maybe it might have needed a little more.
Maybe I did transfer it quite a bit, but
I think it's just the carbonation that's throwing me off.
Yeah, because typically I would have to bottle this in one of my other bottles because this is just mason jar. If I were to leave it to ferment more to carbonate, I've done this before too. So this lid has this little thin metal part. So you put that first, right? And then you seal it. Now, if I were to leave this like maybe 3 or 4 days to carbonate, which it would get nice and carbonated like a beer, this little metal part would just bulge out and it would completely ruin that part of the jar. So next time I do it, I will bottle it in the appropriate bottles. And then we can have that side by side with the regular version.
That'd be a good idea.
Version. Because I did want to do that. I just didn't have the time and I would have had to sanitize this stuff. And I think I need to get more sanitizing liquid. But yeah, I'd much rather have it carbonated than like this is still a little bit carbonated, but it's like
you don't taste. I mean, obviously you don't taste the carbon. You feel the carbonation, but it shouldn't bug you as much as it should, or me, I should say. But I think it's just because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I had tried this yesterday and I think the day before just to check it, and for the level of activity in the jar, I was surprised at how little carbonation it had. So I think we do need to like seal it in something airtight, just like the bottles, to get more. Because I think we both kind of come from the more beer background.
Yeah.
So we like that higher level of carbonation and we're used to it. So something like this, which is like a very traditional form of brewing, like this is just old world stuff to us. Like this is like we're not used to this.
Old world stuff.
Like we're really not used to this. Like the way beer and wine would have been made a long time ago, we wouldn't recognize it. And most of the time it was drunk either room temperature or lightly chilled. So it would have been like, why are you drinking hot beer? So it's stuff like that. It's just a different way of doing it. But one thing I do want to do is do the tepache with different fruit. Because this was just straight up pineapples.
Oh, okay.
But it was, again, just a straight up pineapple peel. So, like, if we did this with, like, a raspberry.
Ooh, I'd be down with that.
That I want to see. So, next time, we'll have that stuff. And then, who's that? Oh, my goodness. That's my girlfriend. What'd she say?
She said, you said you couldn't make pineapple beer, ? But you ferment it and it surprisingly tastes like pineapple.
I didn't say that. But okay. I just said I didn't juice it. Anyways, she's in the chat. I think she's just watching and she's trying to have me finish up so we can go do some stuff. But
get off.
Get off.
Get
I know.
off.
That reminds me of that one meme where it's like the text like, you want to smash? And then the girl goes over to the dude's house and he's all playing Super Smash. It's like, yeah, that sounds about right. But I guess that's pretty much it. You want to just...
Yeah, we can wrap up. Don't know what else we'll talk about next week.
I mean, yeah, well, next time we might have some other stuff, but I think I can put a video together about like how to make this stuff and then throw it on like separately. If people want to see that. But it's super easy. Like if you guys ever buy a pineapple and cut it up for like your family and then just have the peel and the rest of the bits left over, save it and throw it in a jar. Throw some water in there, some sugar. You'll have like an alcoholic drink just free. There you go. I mean, it's pretty cool. That's one reason I like it. It's free.
No, I think more than likely next week we'll probably talk about what is it? Basically recap. I don't know.
We'll have stuff. We'll come up with some things, but we'll keep you guys posted on when the next.
We'll talk about
drop.
Wrestlemania results probably.
Yeah, you can talk about that one.
I'll bring that up. What we've been watching, listening to.
Yeah, because there's been quite a few things we didn't get to talk about that we talked about off screen. So we'll have like quite a bit of stuff, but we'll let you guys know when, so you guys can stop by. Because it seems like only one person really did, but it's all good. That's what we do. Everything's pretty much half-assed here.
It's always
hence the name.
Keep it half-assed.
But yeah, so you guys can find me on Instagram, and I'll be manning the YouTube while we're not really doing anything. Yeah. So at Ronin_CRZ on Instagram, and I don't use Twitter because I'm not a heathen.
Well, I sin. So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, YouTube, but YouTube. at the Walking Dead, not walking as in walk, but my name Joaquin.
Joa.
Did you spell my name wrong?
Did I?
Say it again.
Isn't it Joa?
Yeah. Okay. No, I thought I heard an E somewhere in there. No. I was like, the hell, man.
JELLY. It's a lie. Do you remember those commercials? Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time, and make some beer, something at home.
Keep it half-assed. More importantly.
We're done. Bye.
Yeah, get out of here.
Oh man, my legs.
Little Mo with a gimpy leg.